my name is Tiffany Boyle. I'm the Commissioner of Revenue for the City of Newport News, and I'll be going over just an overview of our office. And we are downtown next to the City Hall building, and we have one closer to here off of Jefferson and Rich Neck is our satellite office, and they can also do everything we can do downtown. So the Office of the Commissioner of Revenue is responsible for administering and assessing 23 different taxes that are mandated by the state code and the city ordinances. And our first thing is we assess, so we determine the proper rate to tax. We have to measure which tax rate is applied, and then we have to calculate the amount of tax. And then just an overview of what we assess. I said 23 different taxes, so you're going from anything from personal property, from your cars to trucks to boat motors to airplanes. We also issue business licenses. We handle your state income tax. So if you don't come to our office, you're more than welcome to come. And the deadline is May 1st. But we also do late filers as well. And business-related taxes. So that goes to your business personal property if you own a business, any machinery and tools, all the way down to bank franchise tax. And so we assess all of those within the office. We also provide services, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Again, the state income tax filing, the real estate tax deferral for elderly and disabled. We have a DMV Select, so if you would like to come to our office instead of DMV for some of the transactions. We also have, everybody is a notary at our office, so if you have anything that you need notarized, please feel free to come by our office, and we do that for free. Our vision, mission, and values, just to explain why we're doing this workshop of TIPS, our mission is to exceed expectations of the citizens of Newport News by being more efficient with procedures and practices, partnering with the community, and providing fair and equitable assessments according to the Virginia State Code and Newport News City ordinances while protecting the confidential information entrusted to this office. So we do that through our values, which is citizen commitment, which is why we're having this workshop, because we're committed to getting the information out to you, making sure you have the correct information, and really educating the taxpayers. Integrity, we have integrity in everything we do, and we aim to provide the best customer service that we can. We have comment cards at our locations. We also have online comment cards, so that's how we measure how we are providing the best customer service we can to meet your expectations. And teamwork, so this is a team. We team with city departments, we team with our delegates and our state senators, we team with you, the citizens, to provide the best services that we can. And that brings us to TIPS. The tax relief, deferral, exemption, and abatements that we take applications for is military tax relief, handicapped and or disabled veteran motor vehicle tax, mobile home tax deferral or exemption, real estate tax deferral for elderly and disabled, real estate tax exemption for elderly, real estate tax exemption for disabled veterans, residential real estate property tax abatement, and real estate tax abatement for rehabilitated residential structures. And this website right here, we can give that out to you. When you click on that, that brings all of those up, and those are all clickable, so you can get more information and forms from that. Everything we do in our office is mandated by the Code of Virginia or City of Newport News ordinances. So if you ever have questions, please refer to the code. You can always call us and ask us, but we like for you to have all the information there. So if you think someone's telling you something wrong, you're like, no, well, the code says this. So these are just a few of the sections and code sections that we'll be going over today. So for personal property, where it says section, it's going to be the Newport News City Ordinance. And then for real estate, all of the top three are Newport News Code ordinances, and the bottom one is the Code of Virginia. So this is where we're going to get all of our information from. This is where we get our processes from, etc. All right, and we will go to personal property.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So here are personal property tax rates. The $4.50 per 100. effective 1/1 of 2013 are typically your passenger vehicles, pickup trucks, buses, boat trailers, motorcycles, utility trailers, and large trailers. $1.22 per 100 are for mobile homes, which are also taxed through the Commissioner's office because those are actually issued titles through the Department of Motor Vehicles. We have our $1 per 100 rate for handicap-equipped vehicles, and for those qualifying veterans that are entitled to the reduced tax rate on one vehicle. The handicap rate for vehicles can be any vehicle. Any vehicle that's handicap-equipped and has a handicap license plate can receive the reduced rate of $1 per 100. Okay. Also, our $1 rate for campers, travel trailers, boats, and boat motors. And then 90 cents per 100 for those boats over 5 tons, commercial fishing vessels, and 50 cents per 100 for airplanes. And all our rates are set by City Council. Military tax relief. Okay. Service members in the area, and there are a lot of them, are entitled to be exempt from the personal property tax so long as they are not residents of the state of Virginia because they are outside of their legal domicile for their military service. Okay. We request a current leave and earnings statement, which all service members receive. Some are paid through DEFERRAL, some through Department of Homeland Security, but each of these will have the information we need in order to qualify. Good morning. Okay. Coast Guard members also must provide additional information because, again, they're paid through a different pay system, and it doesn't have all the information required to qualify them. But we are more than happy to give all the information to anyone that calls in to make sure that we're in compliance and they are as well, and receive any exemption that they're entitled to. Oh, there I go again. Okay. Now, in 2016, Virginia also allowed for the exemption of the personal property tax on the first $20,000 of the assessment of a vehicle leased by military service members and or their spouses. Any leased vehicle, again, is on the first $20,000 of the assessment, and then when the members call in, we make them aware and then let them know what's required so that they can get the exemption that they're entitled to. Okay, for our military spouses. Okay, the Military Spouse Residency Relief Act, enacted by Congress in 2009, allows for spouses of service members who are with them on assignment in Virginia to also receive an exemption on their personal vehicle and or any jointly titled vehicle with a service member. Okay. And the requirement is that the military member and spouse have the same legal domicile or home of record, and then we request additional information to ensure we're in compliance with the federal law as it's written. Okay. In order to qualify, we require an affidavit of the spouse, the copy of the front and back of the military ID card, and any supporting document that they may have to affirm that their legal domicile is also the same as the active duty service member. Some of the items requests are driver's licenses, voter registrations, deed to a property or a will drafted in the member's home state, and then of course the leave and earnings statement for the service member. Okay, our handicap equipped vehicle rate. Okay, so pursuant to, again, as Tiffany mentioned earlier, the City Code of Newport News does allow for a reduced tax rate on any vehicle physically equipped for handicap use. This can include hand controls, a ramp, wheelchair lift, anything that changes the vehicle to make it easier for use by the handicapped person. The only requirement is that the vehicle must also have the handicap license plate. Okay, and it should be equipped with one or more of the things, as I mentioned earlier: power door operators, hand controls, lift or ramps for wheelchairs or scooters. Okay. Okay. So, and here are a couple of the other special restraint systems, et cetera. Anything, again, where the vehicle has been modified for the use of the disabled. Okay. Okay, and again, the requirement is also to qualify for the reduced rate that a handicap plate be assigned to the vehicle as well. Okay, real estate. Now I'll hand off to Ms. Breckenridge.
So we're going to talk about real estate tax and tax relief. We at our office pretty much facilitate the application process and verifying that when we receive applications that we make sure that whatever the criteria is set forth that makes you eligible for the relief, that you actually meet that criteria. So at our office, we accept real estate tax relief applications and abatement applications for deferral, exemption, veterans, and the residential real estate abatement. This just gives our phone numbers for both our downtown and satellite offices. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We answer calls all day. If you have time to come down, we're happy to assist you at the counter. And during certain times of the year, we even will facilitate sit-down appointments to help you actually complete the application. For the real estate tax deferral, the criteria to qualify is that you be at least 65 years of age by December 31 of the year prior. So right now, if you were to apply, you would need to be 65 by December 31st of 2018, or be totally and permanently disabled. And we have affidavits that we can provide to you to give to your doctor to certify that, or we can accept something from like Social Security Administration or the VA to confirm the disability status. Total combined income for all people living within the home can be no more than $50,000, and the assets of the applicant and spouse can't be any more than $200,000, and that limit does not include the primary resident. And this just gives you the code section for the city that gives us that guidance as far as what is required to qualify. This just gives a list of the documentation that we receive copies of from you to make sure that we verify your income. The documentation, it can be the end of the year statements that you receive from Social Security Administration, from like your retirement benefits, 1099s, all of those for the prior year would be turned in with your application for us to verify. The other documentation we look at is your bank statement from December 31 of the previous year so that we can see how much money you have in the bank to make sure you're not exceeding any of the qualifications. Deferral means that you don't pay the taxes on your real estate right now. They are deferred until either you sell your home or pass away or change the deed in any way. So if you apply for deferral right now, it just means the tax bill that would be due for the period we're accepting applications for is deferred until later. With deferral, what happens should you pass away or when you pass away? And the answer to that is whomever is taking care of your affairs after you've left this lovely place have to pay whatever is owed. You do have 365 days to pay that bill, but the bill does become due and payable after the passing or sale of the property. We have many taxpayers and citizens that are not physically able to stay in their homes because they may be ill or they need additional care. The only criteria is that, like, you can't be renting your home out, or like your house has to be in a position where if they released you from the nursing home that day, you can move right back into your home. This just tells you what actual documents you would bring in, and we kind of go over this in the application packet that we provide, as well as the guidelines and the instructions on how to complete the application. You should check and verify that it's okay to have deferral if you have a reverse mortgage. We've had taxpayers that applied for deferral but have a reverse mortgage and it's not allowed, and I've also seen instances where the reverse mortgage company does allow it. So it just literally depends on who your mortgage is carried with. Even if you don't have a reverse mortgage and you have a regular mortgage, you still should check with your mortgage company to make sure that you're allowed to have the deferral option. And keep in mind that in the event that your mortgage is sold from one company to another, the company that you may have had before may have allowed it, and then the new company may not allow it. So you kind of have to be aware of the keeper of your mortgage and their policies if you choose to do the deferral option for your real estate taxes. Okay, now we're to exemption. So the criteria for exemption is the same as far as the age and the disability status. The difference with exemption is the income and the asset limitations. So to qualify for exemption, you have to have a total combined household income of less than $25,000. For your assets, you can't have more than $10,000 in assets, and you also have to have housing costs that equal to at least 40% of your total household income. This application is a little bit more extensive when you apply for the exemption, because we literally have to look at like utility bills. We even look at your homeowner's insurance, all of that. So this application would usually takes us a little bit longer to actually review everything, and it's more paperwork than the deferral. But with the exemption, if you qualify, then you do not have that deferred payment later when you pass away or when you sell your home. The exemption means you don't have the tax liability at all. This slide just gives an overview of the documentation that we receive in order to verify your qualifications for the exemption. It's very similar to the deferral documents. Same thing as far as the end of the year statements we receive, bank statement as of December 31st, cash value of any life insurance or annuities, and then in addition to that, we need the documentation of your household costs. So mortgage statement, payment history for your utilities, and phone and cable is included in that calculation that we make to help you qualify. We accept applications annually from January 1st to August 31st for real estate tax deferral and exemption. If you have a mobile home, those dates change, and it's January 1st to June. We do run appointments to assist with real estate tax relief applications. We run those, this year we're running them from June 17th to August 16th. So if you need help completing the application, if it's your first time or you've been denied in the past and you want to make sure you get everything in and we kind of help you through the process, then you're welcome to give us a call and schedule an appointment at either location, because we have appointments set up for downtown and for the satellite office. So no matter which end of the city you're in, hopefully one of those offices is convenient for you. And we are all, Tiffany mentioned earlier, we are all notaries, so you don't have to worry about having the application notarized elsewhere. If you come in, we can notarize it for you. For veteran exemption, ultimately to qualify for this, first you have to put in an application, of course. We do get a copy of, we look at a copy of your ID, a copy of your bill, your electric bill or bank statement. And those are required just to make sure that you actually live in the property, because that's a criteria to qualify. We get a signed veteran certification form that the VA completes to say that you are indeed a veteran and that you are 100% total, permanent, and service-connected disabled. And we do check the deed to make sure that the veteran is listed on the deed to qualify. And this just gives the Code of Virginia section that guides how we facilitate those applications. This just goes over the qualifications again. You must be a resident and live in the house, provide a letter from the VA showing that it's 100% total, permanent, service-connected, and verifies your unemployability, copy of the electric bill or bank statement, photo ID, and the deed. We accept these applications every day. There's no deadline on when you have to apply for veteran exemption. just because it's ongoing. Once veterans are exempt, it's typically forever. And this just kind of goes over the code section for that, and it shows beginning after 2011, the exemption for the taxation includes joint real property of husband and wife, and it's 100% total and permanent, and it's 100% exemption. This just gives an overview of how to apply. We have paper applications at each office, so if you have time and if you don't mind coming down, you can definitely come pick up an application. You can call our office if you don't want to come, and we can mail it out to you, or you can visit our website. All of our applications are online, and you can print them out and complete them that way. Real estate tax abatement for rehab structures. Basically, the way the abatement works is that if you're eligible and you apply, it exists for 10 years, and it's the code section that goes over how we're able to facilitate that is listed below. The requirements for this abatement, the structure must be 15 years old, and the real estate taxes must be current. The owner paid eligible rehab costs incurred must be 10% or more of the assessed value of the property improvements. Within 18 months of the renovation being complete, the application must be submitted, and the documents required with the application may include, and it lists, like contractor permits, final inspection, occupancy permits, itemized description of the work, and all paid bills and receipts. And if, like, you do the work yourself, that work doesn't qualify towards that requirement. And this gives all of our contact information. The Personal Property Department direct dial number is there. Citizen Tax Support Department is the department that handles the real estate tax relief and the veteran real estate exemption, and our phone number is listed there. Our fax number is there, our email address, and all of our social media outlets.
All right, well, thank you guys so much.